Check out the latest news and videos on Masscom's YouTube page. Just search Iona Masscom or go to NorthAvenueNation.com, where Masscom students are making things happen.
Hello everyone, this is Gregory Kasimis from the Metro Deli in Scarsdale. The Metro Deli has been part of the Westchester community for over 10 years. We always use the freshest and highest quality ingredients for all our dishes and catering events. Our breakfast features bagels with freshly sliced Nova. Don't miss out our thick challah French toast. For lunch, grab a booth and enjoy one of our oversized salads or our freshly cut hot deli sandwiches. We're open 7 days a week, where the coffee is always hot and freshly brewed.
Broadcasting from the basement of La Penta, this is WICR. You're listening to WICR, Iona College Radio.
Hello. Is the mic on?
Yep, it's on.
Okay, I can't hear myself. Okay. Hello and welcome. There we go. Hello and welcome to Tea Time with Abby and Kate. We have a special guest coming on later today, hopefully. Kate, do you want to introduce who's going to come on real quick?
Sure. Dr. Bridget Cooper, she's a friend of mine. I wrote the foreword to one of her books. She's a communication and conflict therapist, so she goes in and helps people in larger companies, and she helps fix the situations within the companies and people not getting along. So it should be interesting to hear from her a little bit later.
Yeah, that'll be really, really interesting. We got questions for her, and we'll be getting into that in a little while. But first, as always, we're going to start off with our news and politics sections. So there was, of course, it's primary season, so I'm going to go over what's been happening a little bit. Bernie Sanders made headlines this week when he surprisingly beat out Hillary Clinton in Michigan. This was quite the upset in the political world, as most analysts and polls put Clinton in the lead in this state. Even though it was a very small margin that he won by, it was still significant, paving the way for staging a precedent for the other Midwestern states, like Ohio, Illinois, and Missouri. Sanders is still trailing Clinton by a fairly large margin, however, not one that is impossible to close at this point. Clinton currently has 1,234 delegates, and Sanders has 567. To win, a candidate needs 2,383. There are still plenty of delegates to claim, as primary season is not over yet, and the results in Michigan could signify a massive voters to Sanders in the coming primaries and a threat to Clinton's comfortable throne. In a lot of the Midwestern states, Clinton was expected to win because she had been pushing different policies that would help out the automobile industry. And Sanders really does appeal to the middle working class, and there's a lot of factories out there in the automobile industry, and he really does appeal to that. And a lot of people thought that they were going to go with Clinton's policies, but apparently, at least in Michigan, people do like Sanders. So we'll have to see how that plays out in the other Midwestern states and see if this holds true across the region. So we're going to have a little bit of an international update right now on what's going on in the world. According to the AP, the head of the Islamic State development of chemical weapons was captured about a month ago by U.S. and Iraqi forces. This was the first success of Washington's new, more aggressive plan to find Islamic State militants, which began last December. Last week, the U.S. announced the capture of the leader, but refused to give his name. And more recently, Iraqi officials have identified him as Sulaiman Daoud al-Afari. Al-Afari was a member of the now disbanded Military Industrialization Authority under Saddam Hussein, under the old Iraqi regime, and worked to develop biological and chemical weapons. The two Iraqi officials who identified al-Afari said that he was 50 years old and heads a recently created Islamic State branch which researches and develops chemical weapons. U.S. officials at the Pentagon recently confirmed his identity. It was also reported that al-Afari was captured in a raid near the northern Iraqi town of Tal Afar. As I stated before, it's part of a new, more aggressive stance from the Pentagon to kind of control the Islamic State. It was also reported that I already read that. U.S. officials reported that numerous airstrikes were conducted on suspected Islamic State chemical facilities in the area, but that the threat has not been eliminated. Raids and airstrikes targeting chemical laboratories began a little over 2 months ago. The Islamic State has been accused of using various chemical weapons. However, there's only hard evidence that they used mustard gas in a couple situations. And experts in the field claim that the Islamic State does not actually have resources at the moment to launch full-scale chemical weapons based on what they know about its funding and the amount of material that they would need to launch full-scale chemical warfare on all the places that they want to engage in that. And they just don't have the resources for it at the moment. So, and a lot of this information was gathered from Al-Afari in the capture. So...
Interesting.
Yeah.
Had no idea that was going on.
Nope. Most people don't. The Islamic State is still very much a threat, even though it hasn't been in the news quite as much lately because there's been so much going on with the presidential election. But there's still a lot going on. As I said, Washington has launched a new plan to fight the militants. It's actually a pretty secretive kind of operation because no one actually knows how many troops are on the ground over there right now, but some think that it could be as small as 100 soldiers over there. They've been conducting airstrikes and raids on suspected targets of chemical laboratories and other hotspots of the Islamic State. So a lot of stuff still going on over there as people are leaving and fleeing and trying to come to other countries. So... yeah.
I think we'll take a break and hopefully we'll get the phone working so Bridget can come on. Hopefully, if not, we have other stuff to talk about.
We can talk about the Dancing with the Stars cast.
And there's definitely a lot of sports things that have gone on in the last 24 hours, especially in the NFL.
Yeah.
So we will be right back in about 5 or 10 minutes.
Yes, and hopefully we'll have our guest on. Hold tight.